Hello there. Let's talk about Charlotte, the princess, not the monkey. First, let's talk about vocab voyage. This list is all about Princess Charlotte. All the words are drawn from a story. All the 30 words have definitions, English and Japanese. And you can watch this. You can study the list. You get a test, which is pretty cool, which I make. And you get more definitions after the test's marked. And if you want, you can contact me whenever you want with any English questions. Beautiful. Back to Charlotte. Charlotte is the new princess, my new princess. I'm from New Zealand, part of the Commonwealth, so she's my Princess Charlotte. Princess Charlotte. 30 words. Here we go. Ignore. My mother told me to ignore my sister as she was trying to upset me. To ignore is mushi, is just to pretend something isn't happening. If a baby's crying, if you ignore the baby, it'll stop crying because it wants attention. Taboo. For some reason in Japan, tattoos seem to be taboo. Taboo means socially, you can't go into an onsen with a tattoo. If you've got a tattoo, people still look at you. Whereas in New Zealand, tattoos aren't taboo. Taboo means something which isn't socially acceptable. Undervalue. I made sure I didn't undervalue the efforts that my lovely wife put into making dinner. To undervalue, if something has got a value of this, you only give it a value of that. To undervalue is not to appreciate something, not to give something enough attention. Status. I updated the... No, I'm not going to use that. The man's status as a ambassador was ruined after he was arrested. Your status is where you stand, how people see you. Okay? The status of Princess Charlotte is as a lovely wee princess. Gig. I hope to start a new gig later on this year, teaching at a place in Sapporo. A gig is it's a job, it's an opportunity, it's something you do. A gig is a band. When a band plays, they play a gig. But a gig is also something that you have, something that you can do. It says in this article, Charlotte has a tough gig. The job of a princess is a tough gig. Pattern. The pattern of behavior in Japanese youth has changed in the last 10 years. A pattern is the way something happens over and over again. Like this shirt has a striped pattern. Same pattern, 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 pattern. It's the same. So it's a same set of behavior or a same set of occurrences. Middle class. In the 1980s, Japan had a very large middle class, but this has been decreasing. Okay, your middle class, you've got your lower class, your working class. Your working class are your lower workers. They work in the factories, they work in the lower jobs. You've got your upper class, who are the rich people, the very rich people. You've got your middle class. They've got some cash. They've got some cash, and they're up, and they've got some money to throw around. They're your middle class. Unshowy. I usually dress in fairly unshowy clothes. Unshowy, it's not, wow, look at that guy. He's got amazing clothes. It's just very quiet, very not conservative, but not loud, not. And to be unshowy means you're just in the background rather than big talking and big clothes and big behavior. Feminism. Feminism. New Zealand has been at the lead New Zealand has been at the forefront in feminism for over 150 years. We were the first country to give women the vote. Feminism is the movement that is pushing women to be equal as men, because they are. They are. Passive. The man was fairly passive when it came to dealing with his critics. To be passive, you've got passive and active. Passive means you sit back, you let things happen, you don't go out and you don't get in there and try and change. You just sit back. Yeah? Same as in grammar, the passive form and the active form. Yeah? Passive form, something just happens. Active form, something you do. Entrepreneur. Japan is full of entrepreneurs coming up with new ways to make money. An entrepreneur is someone who starts a business and risks and makes money, or tries to make money. Small business people. With Vocab Voyage, I'm a little bit of an entrepreneur. I've come up with a new thing and I'm giving it a go. Mainstay. A mainstay of Japanese cuisine has been tofu. A mainstay of Japanese cuisine for hundreds of years has been tofu. A mainstay is a main part, a vital part, a big point. Mainstay of New Zealand exports a mainstay of Japanese exports has been televisions and cars. Realism. The teachers taught her students to approach the world with a bit of realism. That means you see how things really are. You're not living in a imaginary land where everything's lovely and beautiful, because it's not. It's hard sometimes, and that's realism. Realism, realistic. Realism, noun, meishi, realistic. Keoshi, adjective. Embed. When I fell over when I was running, I landed on the ground and a stone got embedded in my knee. Embedded means to be stuck in. People who know computers, if you embed a picture, it's in the website, it's stuck in. So to embed is to stick something in. If a woman has a big ring full of jewels, diamonds, they are embedded in her ring. Pitiless. There have been allegations that the government has been rather pitiless when it comes to people who have been evacuated from Fukushima. Pitiless means to show no pity. Very harsh, very kibishi, very strict. Show no pity. Pitiless. Sympathize. I sympathize with people who are trying to learn English, because I am trying to learn Japanese, so I understand it's difficult. To sympathize is to share the feelings. To share the feelings of someone. Pinch of salt, idiom time, a pinch of salt. Salt, a pinch. Not that kind of pinch of salt. Okay. My mate told me that he was going to stop drinking beer, but I took him with a pinch of salt. If you take something with a pinch of salt, it means you don't really believe it. If you take something with a pinch of salt, yeah, sure, right, I don't believe you. Pinch of salt. Riotous. The party started quietly, but very soon it was loud and riotous. Riotous, you can see riot in there. Riot, a riot is like people in the street throwing things. A riot is very loud and noisy and active. Riotous is loud and noisy and very often funny. Riotous can also mean funny. It's talking about, in this article, it's talking about Prince Harry and his riotous behavior. Privilege. Many people who were born into privilege don't understand the problems of poor people. Privilege is having by right nice stuff or nice title. Princess Charlotte has been born into privilege. She's a princess. Of course she gets everything. That's privilege. Bombard. The FIFA staff in New Zealand for the Under-20 Soccer World Cup have been bombarded with questions about the corruption allegations. To bombard is coming from every direction, hitting, bombard. Adolescence. When children reach adolescence, they start to see the world in a different way. Adult, child, adult, in between, adolescence. So once you reach your coming of age day in Japan, you've finished your adolescence. You're now an adult. It's the stage between childhood and adulthood. Acknowledge. I'm always quick to acknowledge the work that Akiko puts into her lovely cooking. To acknowledge something is to show that you're aware of it, to acknowledge it, to send the message that you appreciate something, good or bad. Renaissance. Some of the styles from the 1980s have seen a renaissance in recent years. The Renaissance was in England and Europe in the 17th century. The Dark Ages finished and everything came to life. A renaissance is when something comes to life. So there's been a renaissance of the royalty in London have had a renaissance with the new Harry and William and George and Charlotte. People are starting to like the royals. When it was Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, people didn't really like them, but now they're having a rebirth, a renaissance. Leeway. There is very little leeway for the royal family members to get into trouble through bad behavior. Leeway is how much you can do before you get away with something. If your parents are strict, they give you very little leeway. If your parents are not strict, you have a lot more leeway. It's what you can do before you get into trouble. Material. As time has gone by, material things have become less important to me. Material things are things you can touch. Material riches are cars, houses, stereos, blah blah blah. The other riches are love and family and happy times and your health. That's immaterial. Material is stuff you can touch. Material riches, the flash stuff, the toys. Banter. There's nothing better than going to the pub and watching rugby and having a bit of banter with the boys. Banter is to laugh and to joke. Laugh and joke and have a good time and maybe make fun of each other. Midriff. The new trend in Sapporo is for girls to walk around showing off their midriff. I won't walk around showing off my midriff. It wouldn't be attractive. The midriff is between the chest and the waist. The stomach, it's where your abs are. That's your midriff. Scrutiny. TEPCO continued to come under a lot of scrutiny following the Fukushima disaster. Scrutiny means people are looking carefully. To scrutinize is to look at something very carefully. Verb, scrutiny, the situation of looking very closely, examining, scrutiny. Monarchy. The monarchy, like I said before, the monarchy in England has had a renaissance in the last few years. The monarchy is the royal family. Japan has a monarchy, the emperor and the empress and his daughter and his son. Monarchy, the royal family. Philosophical. The man was philosophical after his child broke his iPhone. Philosophical means you don't look at something so terribly. You go, "Ugh." Philosophical is like shogunai. It can't be helped. It's not good. Can't be helped. There we go. It's good to be philosophical. Thank you very much. See you later.